good news. No increase in taxes, thanks to revenue collections coming in 21.3 billion rand higher than estimated a year ago.
We are also proposing additional tax measures to ease financial burden on households and businesses by adjusting personal income tax brackets.
We'll have more on that, but also today, Madlanga may subpoena doctors over sick notes, bail battle in the 113 million rand Mpumalanga school scandal, and India's Modi lands in Israel to deepen ties.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent.
Spend about 440 billion on social grants, 430 odd billion on paying down debt. We need to change that so that we can invest more in health, invest more in education, invest more in infrastructure. Otherwise, overall, steady hand at the
We are not excited about this kind of a budget. It does not change anything in the bigger scheme of things. What it does are just cosmetic, reforms that do not actually have an impact on the daily lives of our people on the ground.
Protesting before the budget speech even started. Workers, students, civil society groups, they want an end to austerity and jobs. This is what they got.
Enabling the following increases. The old age grant, disability grant and care dependence grants rise by 80 rand in April 2026 to 2,400. The same applies to the War Veterans Grant, which increases by 80 rand to 2,420. The foster care grant goes up from 1.2 in April, a 40 rand increase, and to 1,300 in October, a 10 rand increase. Child support grant and grant in aid grant increased by 20 rand. The social relief of distress continues in the current form over this year.
The foster care grant rises to 1,295 rand and the child support grant goes up to 580 rand. But if you drive and sin, you pay. Petrol goes up 9 cents a litre and diesel up 8 cents.
Increases to certain taxes are unavoidable. That's the bad part of me. For 2026, excise duties on tobacco will unfortunately be increased in line with inflation. This includes excise duties on electronic nicotine and non-nicotine delivery system.
The Madlanga Commission is considering subpoenaing doctors who issue medical certificates to witnesses who repeatedly fall ill before testifying. No hearings were held today after a crime intelligence officer due to appear submitted a sick note. The officer, who cannot be named, manages agents and informants within SAPS. Since the commission began, at least 4 hearings have been postponed because key witnesses called in sick, including Crime Intelligence Head Dumisani Khumalo and suspended Deputy National Commissioner Shadrach Subir. Earlier this month, witness F also failed to appear due to illness.
Perhaps you may want to consider whether at some point, if this persists, whether a medical doctor or health professional who signs a certificate should not be called to come and testify.
The Cape Town dams slide towards danger zone. Levels have dropped to 57%. That's down 2% in just a week. Nearly 70% of water is used inside homes, but officials say conservation isn't cutting through. With meaningful rain possibly only arriving later this year, the risk of restrictions before November is real.
In the space of about 6 months, we have already attended to about 22,000 leaks. So there's a very active intervention to try and reduce water wastage on the city side, but also investing in our infrastructure as well.
Eappa Mine is to shut down after mudslide crisis. Northern Cape diamond miner Ekapa Minerals and Ekapa Resources has announced it is closing and applying for liquidation. The company cites an 18-month global downturn, falling demand, cheaper synthetic diamonds and tariffs. The decision follows last week's mudslide at its De Toispan shaft, which trapped 5 miners nearly 900 meters underground. Ekapa says restoring access could take up to 18 months, money it simply doesn't have. But the search for the miners will continue. The last group of the 36 accused were back in the Mbombela Magistrates Court today, asking for cheaper bail, saying 50,000 rand is too steep. More than 25 suspects have already been released on bail, ranging from 5,000 to 50,000 rand. But the state isn't budging.
Your Worship, none of our suspects before you today are paupers. They were all business people. They forget today they come to court. They've all highlighted the assets they're holding. Some of them are immovable properties, 2 immovable properties. They own Range Rovers, motor vehicles.
The prosecutor says high bail is the only way to secure their attendance.
Your Worship, these are business people. They were service providers, registered entities that were supposed to have provided a service. When the state is asking for a high bail amount, the request was premised to secure each of their presence in court for the duration of the trial. Setting bail of 5,000 rands, Your Worship, will not secure that. If tomorrow they don't come to court, that 5,000 rands means nothing in the bigger picture.
Water back on, but residents aren't buying it. After 3 weeks dry, angry protesters in Coronationville and Westbury blocked roads with burning tyres, vowing not to back down until taps ran properly. Hours later, water returned.
So we want to understand, where did water come from all of a sudden yesterday? Where did water come from? Just down the road, Nuclear, where they weren't protesting, there's no water there. So it seems like water is being switched on based on the frustration from the community. It's confirmed and it's proven that once there's a protest, the water goes on.
Joburg Water blames pressure on the ageing commando system, which feeds Coronationville, Westbury and Brixton. And India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi is in Israel for a 2-day visit aimed at strengthening defence, trade and tech cooperation. He's set to meet Benjamin Netanyahu and address the Knesset as talks begin on a possible free trade agreement. Trade between the two countries topped $3.6 billion last year. Diplomatic ties date back to 1992, but relations have deepened significantly since Modi took office in 2014. You can always find more by going on to the EWN app.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent.